Hi, thanks for joining us. In today's podcast, we will continue the conversations on building greater resiliency because it is so essential. So welcome back. I'm Meg Michaelson. Thank you for joining me at Soul Speak. This is a podcast for you. I hope that you are enjoying it. I love the comments. I love the shares. I'm here to help all of us grow as we all hope to. So today I wanted to talk more about resiliency. And the reason it's so important is because resiliency is a lifelong journey. Sometimes we can feel like we're really on track and then a few things set us back. And then it takes us a while to get back on that horse and put one foot in front of the other. And that's okay. We just want to remember that there's always stuff that's going to get in our way. So this is something to always work on, checking in with ourselves. Am I feeling my strength today, or am I feeling overwhelmed or hopeless? And life is a whole lot of experiences. Some of them uplift us and some of them take us a little bit down the rope. Now, last week, we delved deeper into how to feel safe and calm when we're in a state of stress. And this has been a lot of stressful times, and it's going to continue. And we're just in choppy territory. So the more we're in that state of hypervigilant fear, worry, the greater our minds, of course, like I said last week, are also in that state of worry. And then we tend to just, we're going to be an Eeyore, we're looking for bad, or we're just visualizing anything bad, or we're expecting it. Now, when we're expecting something bad, 9 out of 10 times that bad is going to happen. Why? Because we're drawing that energy in. So we want to really be careful with what our expectations are. We can do it from a neutral place, like we talked about last week. And we can also do it from that place of positivity, knowing that it might not work out that way, but maybe the new way is better. Maybe over time it's better. Maybe it'll be better immediately. We don't always know. There's always more at play than we might recognize. So finding ways to feel strong and face adversity with more strength is so key to living a greater life, to living a life with greater resiliency. It is essential to start today, not to give up hope, but every day can add more strength to the next day. It can be really tough to stay positive when we have a series of things or even one big thing. And then we can go into that all is wrong so easily. We see the negative instead of the positive. We see all the things in our life that are causing us to feel like nothing's working. Why do I bother? When we stay in that for even an hour, we can be stuck for the day or more. How am I allowing myself to think? And where am I? Just checking in throughout the day makes a whole world of difference. Now, recently I was on Facebook and a post popped up from a lovely cousin of mine. And her story made me laugh, but it also really illuminated how we can get off track and then back on again. These are her words. Some days are harder than others. My low back pain is distracting today, and my work day was frustrating. I have a temporary tooth on one of my front teeth while waiting for a permanent crown, and the temp has already fallen off once. One of my grand puppies was terrified at the vet and uncontrollably pooped on the passenger seat of my car when I picked him up. And a ring that I had lost a stone out of is going to cost me $350 to replace. Then to top it all off, there was a spider in my bathroom when I was sitting in the toilet. It was stalking me. None of these things, of course, were dramatically awful, but all in one day, it felt like a bit much. That's the kind of days we can have, right? Any of us. But then she went into this. In the meantime, my husband made us breakfast, did the dishes, dropped a package in the mail for me, and installed a new toilet in the guest bathroom. He is the silver lining to my clouds, and I am grateful. We cannot control anything, and that can be so very hard. Remember that. We can only control our reaction to what's going on out there. And it is really hard for us to combat that need to feel like everything's in our control when things feel so out of control. You look at her experiences, that was all out of her control. However, what did she do different? She stopped and looked at the good things. That's how we build resiliency, by allowing those positive experiences to come to the forefront. Was she always this way? Was she always able to bounce back? No, probably not. Just like the rest of us. She builds her life one brick at a time, one strength experience after another. And then sometimes, of course, she falls off the horse like all of us do. But then she notices the beauty. like the things her husband did for her. And that put a smile back on her face. And that means she chose someone like her husband because she's building a healthy tribe around her. Who is around us makes a difference in how resilient we are going to be. So how do we do that? How do we build a healthy tribe? We pay attention to what we respect about others. We pay attention to what we're noticing and wish we could be more like. And what ways are we hard on ourselves? Pay attention to that. Pay attention to who we look up to. And then we ask the universe, we ask God for help with this. Ask and it shall be given. And of course, we let go of those things that are not in line with our goals and wants. Let go of those people that just bring in more negativity and toxicity over time and with kindness and respect. As we rebuild our strength, our resiliency, every person is unique. So some things that I talk about will work for some of you, and some things will work for others. Because this is such individual work. It's all based on our history and who we are as a being before we came to Earth, in my belief system. Yet the one thing that can work for all, especially when we try to be consistent, is breathing. Pause and breathe. We can let out a sigh, and with that pause, we might then allow ourselves to see the truth. My cousin reminded herself, and I want to point out that she chose this. She perhaps walked into the house and saw him putting the new toilet in. Or she realized when she walked into the house that the dishes were all done. Or perhaps the puppy, after pooping on her car seat, was in shame or fear, and that softened her heart. Whatever it was, she allowed her heart to open and saw goodness again. And that is what we get to choose to do. I've been working a ton of hours lately because I'm opening a cafe within Well House, the business that I run, the brick and mortar. It's been a lot of work, and it's been a lot of joy, and it's been a lot of work. And I was noticing yesterday, I was thinking a little bit too much of myself as far as how much I had to get done. And I wasn't appreciating as much as I could the people around me that were helping me. So then it was, okay, just pause, step back, pause, go into gratitude, notice those things, because it is essential. Otherwise, we get caught in our own private Idaho, and everything seems like it's lumpy or crooked or hard. And it really doesn't have to be that way. We can deflate the pessimism. We can feel the love and gratitude. This is how we retrain our brain. We can look for the beauty in a situation that is right in front of us. We want to be careful when we're feeling stress, time crunch, that we're not taking it out on those around us, because now we're bringing in crappier energy anyway, so it hurts us too. We can have a shitty drive home or a shitty day at work, or our dogs can poop on our car seats. And then we might just notice an older couple walking hand in hand in our neighborhood. Or we can realize that someone held the door open for us. And then we can choose to take a breath, sigh, feel more peace, and then see more positivity. Last week, I talked about neutrality. That is the place we sigh. That is the place we surrender into. And then in that open space, we can see something better. We can feel something better. When life is tough, we need that pause, that space of neutrality, so we can then connect with someone or something in front of us that brings us to smile, that warms our heart. Like she allowed those gestures of her husband, she allowed that to shift her day. How beautiful is that? And sometimes we don't let that in, but couldn't we? Now, of course, you might be thinking, well, my husband doesn't do that, or I don't even have a husband. And as true as that may be, there are so many other ways we can find gratitude. Maybe your child said hello and was excited to see you when you walked in the door. Or maybe your child asked about your day, or your dog wagged her tail and came running because you were home, or your neighbor waved to you, or someone held the door open for you, or your child did her homework, or your dog didn't poop on the car seat. What if we chose to notice those things? What if someone's been struggling and in that one day they weren't crabby or struggling at you? What if we noticed that? What if we allowed ourselves to see more goodness in the effort of self and others? Truly, that is what builds our strength. That is what adds to resiliency. So going forward, when someone offers to do something for you, say yes, even when you know you can do it by yourself. Say yes, because we are allowing a moment that we can feel grateful for. Now, that really means we need to be naked sometimes. That means we need to be vulnerable, and that can be tough for some people. We need to allow our leaves to drop off and be bare to the earth. Here in the Midwest, it's fall. Soon the leaves will be dropping. And someone that I know lives in Colorado, and we were just talking about the aspen, how beautiful it is, and people come for miles to see that, just like in the Midwest. The colors in the trees are gorgeous, and people drive to see the leaves change before they're going to fall off. Just like those trees, we need to be bare to the earth. Just like the trees that lose their leaves, if we don't do that, we get weaker. Our bodies are strengthened or weakened by our thoughts and actions. Our resiliency is built on our connections with ourselves and others. And the strength in the connections we build or we don't. That does ask us to let ourselves feel content, notice goodness more than not. And sometimes we think we're content. However, if we're escaping more than not, if we're using substances more than not, if we're harried and cranky more than not, if we're not present more than not, if we're complaining more than not, if we're trying to fix others more than not, if we're avoiding doing those things that our soul urges us to do more than not, like write a book, talk in a podcast, do something creative, do something out of the norm. If we're not doing those things, are we really happy when we're just going through the motions and not really living, not really experiencing, not really allowing ourselves to find contentment? This also crosses over to living with the idea of experiences. When we allow ourselves to just be, not think about tomorrow or cleaning up the dog poop or how our boss was being dismissive, but just pause, let life go for a moment. Then we can have more of those contentment moments. We have to let go of the ones that are bothering us. It doesn't mean we don't take care of it, but in the moment, we're not going to take care of it. So we don't really need to think about it in that moment. We can notice the beauty. We are here to feel every moment as an experience. Can I be fully present and not attached to outcome? Can I sit at dinner with my family and listen to their voices and be present? Can I play with my dog at the end of a long workday and allow that great interchange where we both feel our heart a little more elevated? Or can you go on a date with your spouse or someone new and be so excited to have that one-on-one time? Not think about how your workday was, not think about where this is going. Just be in that moment. Practice contentment, practice peace, practice gratitude. I do guarantee it is possible. We need to allow our leaves to drop off and be bare. Allow ourselves to be vulnerable enough to receive the love from the universe, the love from others, the love from ourselves, and allow those changes and allow spirit, God, the universe, and other people to help us. So may you take time this week to really allow those moments of contentment. That is the way to get back on track to build a life of greater resiliency. May you have a beautiful week, and I look forward to connecting with you again. Hey listeners, thank you so much for being part of the Soul Speak world. I really appreciate that. And if you're willing, and if you find this of value, would you please follow on any of the platforms you're listening to, whether that's Apple or Spotify or Google or any of the platforms. And of course, I love the ratings if you find this valuable. You can also follow me on YouTube and like and share, and all of that really makes a difference. Appreciate your participation. And of course, I really appreciate you being part of this world.